All right, what's up, Mike? What's going on,
Hey,
man?
what's going on? How are you?
Good, man. Good. We missed our Saturday session, so we're
Yeah,
using
yeah, life happens. Weekend came around and yeah, life happens, But we're here now, so that's all that
Yep,
matters.
yep. We're taking advantage of a Tuesday night.
Yeah, 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 we are.
So,
How are things,
say what?
how are things going?
It's good, man. It's good. Just finished my day off and just trying to get some content in and sharing some good thoughts. So,
That's
how
good,
about
man. That's
you?
awesome here. Good. Awesome. It's been busy, just trying to be as productive as I can in every corner and yeah, just, with content and adding value. It's just, yeah, it's been good.
Good, man.
Can't
Yeah,
complain. Yeah.
I'm actually trying to grow out this quarantine beard.
I had to trim mine today, man.
Oh
It
my
was getting a
God,
little
I can't even get a good lining. It's like my one side and then my other bad side. I don't know, whatever.
thick.
I'm trying to grow something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Um, it is what it is, right?
All good.
Um, but yeah, man. I guess for today we're gonna talk about a little bit about teens and the current situations and our past, and maybe we can share with people watching that maybe we could provide some value in that standpoint.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. The good old teenage golden years, eh?
Oh yeah, feels like it
Yeah.
was yesterday, but time flies. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I could still remember like it was yesterday too, man. But yeah,
Yeah, I was. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I was a knucklehead, man. I was
I
all over the
was
place.
lost. Yeah, I was just a kid just trying to discover what my next video game or was going to be or what I was going to do on the weekend. That's all it was. That's all it was for me.
Yeah, we're around the same age. You would have thought like when is the next Sega Genesis or
Yeah,
Super Nintendo games gonna come out?
yeah. Waiting for the release date of this specific game and wanting to be the first one to buy it and
Yep.
tell friends, I'm the first one to buy it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because eh, technology is just it's just advanced so fast where I mean games now, like if I was to watch kids play games and playing with Xbox and PlayStation 4 and I don't even know what's out anymore. I can't keep up with today's games. I can't keep up with all these new with all these games
I
coming out
know,
and catching up and all that,
dude. I totally hear you. I got a PS4 a few years ago, and I've played it every now and then. But there's so many different components to it now and different features that I'm
yeah,
just like, okay, like what does this do? Like, there's so many things that I still haven't even figured out on that thing, and I don't
yeah,
really play it much anymore.
yeah.
If I
I
have
mean,
friends
either
over or something,
yeah,
yeah,
I totally agree with me too. I mean, like I said, I have a PlayStation sitting around. I haven't used it in like, geez, I would say around 2 years,
yeah,
and I really don't miss it because, like I said, I don't really have time for that nowadays.
yeah,
But
same.
if you see, like, I mean, it's really taking these kids' lives. Like, it's literally taking their attention span and taking so much of their time. Where you notice that they're not even putting the console down. They're not turning off the TVs whatsoever. They're just constantly
Yeah,
playing and not worried about what's going around them. And
100%.
it's literally starting to take effect on at least on some kids. I'm not saying that it's not bad for every single kid. I think that it's for every teenager or every kid that's playing video games. I'm not saying it's bad for every single kid, but I really believe that it's really affecting their social skills. It's really affecting them in so many ways. What do you think?
It's definitely taken up a lot more. Like the video games themselves have advanced so much more than all the years. Like even the first year of PlayStation that I had, and then PlayStation 2 and 3. Like the hours upon hours it requires you to like
Yeah,
save and go on to the next levels. Like you don't even notice the time. Like there were days when I would be playing until like 6 7 in the morning, and I hear the birds chirping, and I'm like, oh no, I just got to get to this next level. And it just becomes one of those things where you just like, you got to advance, and you don't want to put it down, and you don't even notice the time. And like I said, the games have advanced so much more now that the kids are just becoming more into the characters and becoming more um, kind of away from a reality a little bit,
yeah,
like whether
big time.
it's a choice to get out of reality or they just don't realize the time. I think it can be a combination of both,
Yeah,
depending on where the kid is at and what he's doing with the video games, I think it can be a big escape for a lot of kids, and it is a big escape for a lot of kids, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
And yeah, it is. Like I said, it's literally taking so much of their time and you. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I know when I speak to my niece, it's like sometimes like talking to a brick wall. Like she will watch her cartoons on this tablet and she's gone. Like
oh
she's just
yeah,
staring at this tablet, and I'm trying to call her name out and she's not even looking at me.
yeah,
And I'm calling her
yeah.
name like 5 times. She's still not looking at me. And I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely takes their attention away a lot easier, and it's designed that way, right?
Yeah.
It's designed to keep you focused on whatever it is that they're focusing on, the
Yeah.
digital game or digital um, program or whatever they're watching is designed to
Right.
keep them on. Or apps, there's a lot of apps now that they're playing on, a lot of apps and things that I've never even heard of
Yeah.
or seen.
Right.
And I just I just don't spend any time on that to really kind of keep up to the 20,000
Yeah.
apps a day that are being released, right? But
Yeah.
it's designed to
And
keep these kids really compelled onto them, right? So
yeah. And it's funny because you don't, I mean, we don't even know what the future is going to hold as far as with the current situations that we're going in.
yeah,
But it's actually a little it's pretty much a little bit alarming because a lot of these kids are stuck at home. And how is that really taking effect in their lives, and how is that taking effect in their social lives? Are they able to see their friends? They're not going to be able to go outside. They're not going to be able to go play basketball. You're a kid wanting to go play ball outside, or if a girl wants to go to the mall, or she wants to go to the movies, or she wants to do stuff with her friends, you can't really do that because of the whole quarantine thing, and
yeah,
other parents being worried about other kids coming over because they don't want to get infected. So
yeah.
there's just so much that can be part of it that.
I think in my opinion, and just like I was a pretty active kid growing up, as you probably were too. I
Yeah.
played video games, but I still had a bike. I still like to play sports, soccer, hockey, shoot some hoops outside. I still like to do all those things when I was younger. I skateboarded when I was younger. I'd love to do all that stuff, right? I balanced it out a little bit. I just didn't want to be cooped up all summer long inside. I think it also helps too to have parents who are a little bit active with their kids.
Yes.
Like growing up, my dad was pretty active with us. We would play in the backyard, sports, plus my older brother, and cousins and family. We were active that way, right? So it helps when you have active influence, if you will, too. If you have parents who are sports activated or are active as well, to try and get you off the couch and try and get you to go kind of participate in some sports activities or whatever too. It definitely helps, right? If your parents are active and healthy and believe in that sort of thing too, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And
definitely a
it's just,
motivating factor.
yeah, it's just getting out and doing what you can to improve their lives. And as parents, I'm not trying to bash, you know, any type of parent. Everybody has their own parenting skills.
Yep.
Um, some parents, do give their teenagers or their kids the love and affection that they need. And they're
Mhm.
doing okay. They're doing okay in school. They're doing okay, with extracurricular activities and creating something out of nothing, where right now we're stuck at home. But how are we monetizing our time at home and being productive? Like,
Yeah.
there's a time frame. Like, if a kid's always going to be a kid. We were all kids at one point in time. And like I said, for example, if you're at home all the time with with the whole pandemic and being stuck at home, how are you making daily routines with your kids? That's including yourself, but with your kids as well. Like, if you want to play games, you play a game for an hour, and then after that, you got to do chores, or you got to do your homework. You got to go
Yeah.
outside. You got to mow the lawn, depending on the ages, depending on the situation. Um,
Yeah.
Keep the day going and make that a routine. You know what I mean? Like, there's okay to have some fun time, but then there's also some time for some self development or do studies, do
Yeah.
some
No,
school stuff. Because
totally.
I know that schools are going. They're obviously online right now. So that's gonna be the new norm eventually.
It's gonna be an adjustment. It's definitely gonna be something that you're gonna just have to roll with and adjust with. And
Right.
it's really up to the parents. Like you said, I'm not trying to bash parents who don't get their kids off the couch or off the computer or off video games, because maybe they've tried and the kids just probably don't want to, a lot of them, right? They're really just accustomed to it. So that could be a challenge too, I can see, if that's what they're kind of accustomed to. But it definitely helps when, you know, you have active parents and you're active with the kids, and the kids have kind of already have some sort of extracurricular activity of sports that they can kind of just, you know, and brothers and sisters. Like growing up, I had brothers and we were all active and played sports together with each other. And, you know, so that helped. And it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, and things that are going to be the new norm now. Like you said, everything's kind of going online, but as we kind of roll into the summer now, I can say, and you want to kind of just be active. You want to at least spend a few hours a day,
Right.
just kind of keeping that exercise and keeping their brains alive and growing too, because that's important.
Yeah.
Instead of just you know, letting them be on the couch or letting them be on the computer and video games and, you know, online hookups and all that sort of thing with the video games now. And, you know,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
times have changed, man. It's not like it was in the past where we were able to go outside and, you know, we'll go to like a, you know, a sports bar and we'll just, you know, have some wings and have some, you know, have a Coke, because we can't drink at that time.
Yeah.
But at least, you know, just hang out with our friends and go out. But you know, that's really the norm. That was. Now is today's world is so different, where now social isolation is even bigger than it was back then.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, me being an introverted person, I now accept it now as an adult. Whereas when I was a teenager, I was still searching for myself. So I caught myself being the weird guy. I caught myself being not normal. And how can I keep my friends? I'm being someone that I'm not. And that is huge for kids nowadays. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, no, definitely. I was a little bit of both when it comes to extrovert and introvert. I was kind of the omnivert. I think that's what you call it when it's both. Like I liked hanging out and being social, but I also liked my alone time for myself.
yeah,
I'm still
absolutely.
kind of that way too. I need time to kind of recharge the batteries a little bit here and there too, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely.
It's funny. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I know that I caught myself being alone a lot, and I really didn't know why. And then I would honestly honestly be upset with myself. I'll get like upset for no reason, and I didn't really know why, but I was always still by myself.
Yeah.
And it was because I just enjoy alone time. But when you're a 15-year-old kid, you want to be outside with everybody else. You want to be with the cool kids. You want to go to the coolest parties. You want to go to the dances. You want to meet other, you know, for me at the time, you want to meet other girls. You want to be friends with other people and hang out with everybody that you wanted to be. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you didn't.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And as a teenager, and as an introverted teenager, you just you're still searching for yourself. So
Totally.
you catch yourself not thinking properly, and you're just trying to fit in, but you don't know how to. And it's basically a mental game that you're trying to search for.
Yeah.
But it's just times have changed. It's definitely time. Time has changed, and especially now being at home is really, really hard.
Oh, like I said, yeah, the challenge is probably a lot greater now than it was ever before.
Right.
You know, to try to motivate your kids or try to motivate a 16 to 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just think back to, you know, when I was 17, like I was totally lost. I was just trying to find the next, you know, the next best video game or the next, just whatever. It just wasn't.
That's what you were used to.
Yeah. Just fun. You know, I just wanted to find myself, but I wasn't.
School.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. What's that?
I said, I don't know about you, but school is the last thing in my mind. I mean, I did school because I was forced to.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to finish.
I had my parents on top of me all the time, so you know, I told
Yeah.
you that's really the only way I did it.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like with my parents, they were on top of me to finish school and to try to pursue and get and figure out what I wanted to do at 17. And some kids can figure it out at 17. I wasn't one of those kids who was the lucky ones to, you know, figure it out at 17. It took me a long time to kind of figure out even a step of direction of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to go. And, you know, they were just expecting me to, you know, pick a course in college and pursue it at 17, right as soon as I graduated. And that just wasn't the case for me, man.
Yeah.
you
And you
know?
thought to yourself, like, what am I going to study? What am I going to
Yeah. I
just go to
was like,
school
I
for
have
what?
no idea. I'm not just gonna pick a course and
You just
just
want to,
randomly go with it like a lot
just
of
want
people
to,
did.
you just wanted to party, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish school. I just wanted to get done because the pressure was just on. It just wasn't fun. You know, when you're in that kind of an environment, for me, and you feel like you're forced to do this, that's not really something that that is you know, a fun type of job or a fun type of, you know, motivation for me. It wasn't for me whatsoever. I just wanted to get done and figure it out,
Figure
you
it
know,
out, right?
on my own terms, you know, like, and you know, I'm grateful for the way I did it. It took me a long time. I was a little bit of a late bloomer,
Yeah,
but
me
you know,
too.
for me, yeah, I was a late bloomer. And instead of falling in line with the societal pressures and society saying, go to school, you know, like high school,
Get a
finish,
job.
graduate, get a job, go to college, pick, you know, graduate from there, get a job, and go work for somebody until you retire. That's society. That doesn't always work, and that's kind of fading nowadays, I
Yeah.
find. You know,
The normal is going online, and then you see all these,
yeah.
entrepreneurs and live the life that you want to live. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't always work. You just gotta find your way. And as a kid, it's gonna take some time, but I really feel that there's so many resources online that can be
Oh
so
yeah.
helpful. It's just up to it's just up to the person. It's just up to the kid, and taking that chance and checking it out, because there's so much opportunities.
Yep.
Um, but I know
Totally.
since we're on the same topic, it's funny we're talking about this, Mike, because I'm actually currently coaching a 17-year-old. I'm not gonna mention any names here, but I'm just gonna make
Yep.
up. Let's just say his name is Ronnie, and
Okay.
Ronnie is he's an interesting kid. He's, like I said, he's 17 years old, and he's basically trying to find his way. And like I said, he currently has a girlfriend, and he's stuck at home living at with his parents. And he's not really in a good state, because he feels stuck. He feels stuck at home. He's always playing games. And the mother, I was speaking to the mother the other day, and she was constantly telling me that he's bored. And I'm like, okay, well, if he's bored, then there's gotta be a reason why he's bored. Is there things that you can do as a parent for the meantime to, try to motivate him to do other stuff besides just playing games or just walking around the house not doing anything?
Right.
We basically meet every Sunday, but she just basically just gives me updates on what he's doing and how he's doing. But yesterday, as a matter of fact, I told her to give me some stuff that what he's suffering from, and what he's having a tough time with. And a few things that she told me was basically, like I said, he has no friends, he has no role model to really look up to that really wants to. He has trust issues, depression, anger, a lot of resentment. He's very insecure,
Mm.
and he's very lazy. And everything that she mentioned reminded a lot of me, so I could feel like I could really relate with what she's saying, and how Ronnie feels deep inside. Um, because I did give her some feedback, and how giving her my experiences and the stuff I see with today's world. And it's basically helping out with her. It's definitely helping her out
Animal.
by it's definitely helping her out by having a better understanding, because obviously I know as a teen I never wanted to always listen to my parents. I always thought that I knew everything. In
Yeah.
reality, we don't, but in our minds, we think we know everything. And
Well,
as
it's
far
17. It's that age. That's that age where it's just naturally a rebellious age. You don't want to do what your parents are telling you. You don't want to take that course or go to that school that your parents are telling you most of the time. Like, I mean, maybe in some cases, some kids are okay with that. And for me, I wasn't okay with that. I didn't want to take certain courses in high school. I didn't want to, you know, jump into college right after high school. And it's just like 17 is a rebellious age where you don't really want to do what your parents are telling you. You know,
no,
it's an adolescent age where your hormones are changing and all that jazz, right? So you're going into a transition no matter what.
right.
So I'm not sure exactly how long this has been going on, or is this just kind of a transition within the last year or two, maybe? But
Yeah, he's been like, I mean, the last time I spoke to him, you could tell the way he was speaking, you could tell the way he was the way I was speaking to him, the way he was behaving, you could tell he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but he definitely needs that role model to really coach him and be that be that person that he wants to be, because he has so much potential. It's
Right.
just that he's obviously in that 17-year-old state of mind where he's still trying to figure himself out, and he's really into his girlfriend and everything like that. Um, but obviously, coming from the guy standpoint, you right away got to tell them, always be safe, always make the right choices, and always treat women with respect no matter what. So
Yeah.
those are basically, the basics that you have to be as a male.
The norm,
Um,
the norms.
the norms are exactly the basic norms. But like I said, lack of ambition, being angry all the time, that is just part of being a teen, because you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to be an adult, but yet you still want the comfort from your parents.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, you want to be alone. You want to be alone with your friends. You want to be alone with other people. But yet when you need something, you need your parents back. You need money, go to your parents. You want to borrow the car, ask your parents. There's so many aspects that go into it. So you're as a teenager, you feel like you're stuck in the middle.
Yeah, and being that teenager that's kind of feeling stuck already, I think if the more that parent really pushes, is the less he's going to respond to that in a positive way, is the more he's going to kind of pull back.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just speaking from my own experience, and if my parents would have kind of not pushed me so hard into doing what I didn't want to do, I think things would have been a little bit more
Yeah.
relaxed, and I would have kind of maybe looked into some better options instead of just like looking at school as such a negative thing. And I just wanted to finish. I think there's other ways that maybe some people can go about it, and some parents can go about it too, as far as
Yeah.
if you notice he's rebelling and he's resisting what you're pushing on him, the more you push that on him, the more he's going to pull away.
Yeah. The more he's gonna have more resentment because you're making him something he
Yeah.
doesn't want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just all about really listening when you're talking to these kids. And it's all about listening to their story, listen
Yeah.
to what they want to say. Because eventually they're gonna say stuff. They're gonna say stuff repetitively. They're gonna have so many interests, but that one thing is gonna be their passion, but they don't know
Yeah.
it yet. Because trust me, I know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's just so many things that fall into that criteria, and um, coaching other kids. But it's
Yeah.
actually great, because you get to be the leader, and
Yeah.
you actually get to lead and teach other kids on how to be better individuals, and to show them, what, I don't want you to fall into my shoes when I was your age. Why don't you take these steps instead?
Yeah.
It's up to you, and now it's up to you on where you want to go, but I'm giving you advice on what you should do.
You can only it's like you can only show them the light and show them the way, and you can only lead
Yeah.
a horse to water, like they
Yeah.
say, but you can't make them drink it. And that's the same
Yeah.
thing as somebody who's 17. And I'm just relating that back to me back at 17, and it's just like if the method or the approach was a little bit more not so forced,
Yeah.
or no, this is how it is, like you're doing this, and it's just like, no, I'm not actually, thank you, but
Yeah.
kind of thing. I think it's really all in the approach. It's like you got to kind of put yourself back into that 17-year-old mind a little bit as to where you were, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of parents
It's like
forget that.
flashbacks, man. It's like
Yeah.
definitely flashback. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And then it's just gonna get to the point where, like some I'm only saying some parents are not
Yeah,
gonna know what
some,
to
not
do.
all.
Now there
Some
are
still
great
pretty good.
now, like I said before, there are great parents out there.
Yeah.
But there are some that are lost, and there are some that are angry. There's some that are just
There's
they
some,
always wish they
yeah,
never had any kids.
their expectations are here, but
Yeah.
the kid's mind is like here, and he's still developing, and it's just like, no, you're up here, and that's just the way it is. And I mean, it doesn't really work that way. It
Absolutely.
definitely doesn't work that
Absolutely.
way.
And then like right now, Ronnie doesn't hardly has any friends. Let's just say when I was 17, I wish Facebook or all these social medias were around when I was growing up. Now, granted, I know there was back then it was called MySpace.
Oh yeah, MySpace. I had that for a brief period too.
Yeah. So MySpace, I mean
It's like
MySpace.
the prequel to Facebook.
Yeah, MySpace
Yeah.
MySpace was available, but it did
Yeah.
but right now social media is just explode. And like I said, I
Yeah.
wish I had today's social media back then, because I would have at least tried to make a ton of friends, or at least tried to meet other teenagers or people my age that are kind of similar to what I am, an
Yeah.
introvert, have similar interests, and join other groups that I interest me, and I
Oh,
could
for sure.
start creating conversations, create camaraderie, create a
Yeah,
community. And I
for
wish I could
sure.
have that. You know what I mean?
It's way easier to network now due to social media than
Oh
it ever
my God,
was
yeah.
before, especially, when you're a kid. You can network in so many different things now. If like a kid is a gamer, you can join so many different groups and participate in the gaming groups and make friends that way. I've heard that a lot, and that's a big thing now.
Oh yeah.
If you want to join, sports groups now, you just network on social media. Like it's a lot easier, like you said, to kind of branch out and network, for anybody
Oh
in
yeah.
really any age, really, right? So
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like I said, the platform is there. It's just
yeah,
trying to find ways on how to maneuver it your own way, and use it in a more responsible way, instead of just, you know,
yeah,
just playing games all day and not using your time wisely where you can, where you can do other things. But it's actually harder for a teen, to me, I believe that it's harder for a teenager. And like I said, not everybody's
it
the
is.
same.
It's,
Some
yeah,
teenagers, so you know what?
totally.
Some teens, some young adults, some teens have it all figured out. And you know what? Round of applause for you. And
Yeah, dude, put it this way, I don't miss being 17 whatsoever. I honestly don't.
it's tough. Sometimes it
It
can
was
be
tough.
a
Yeah,
tough era,
yeah.
tough decade.
You're just trying to figure things out at such a rapid pace, and you just can't keep up. At least I'm speaking from my own experience. Being that adolescent 17 and just trying to figure all these things out, and you're really comparing yourself to a lot of peers, and you see all your peers, friends going to different colleges, and they're taking this and that, and they've got it all planned out, and you're just like, I just want to graduate. I don't know. I just want to graduate. Like at least that's what it was for me.
Right.
So, with that being said, it's yeah, at that age, it's tough to figure it out, and the pressure is on you, I think, and it doesn't really stop. I think even with social media now, there's a little bit more pressure because now you're seeing it visibly everywhere on your smartphone, on your computer, your tablet device. You're comparing and seeing your friends doing all these plans, and I'm sure they're posting it, and they're going to this college, and oh, I'm so excited, I'm gonna take this course, and
But at the
where
end of the
does
day,
that
it's
leave
going
a
to be like,
kid?
where are you working at? I don't know. I'm still looking for a job.
Yeah, it's like, well, what about me? I don't know.
Oh yeah, trust me.
I'm still
Um,
working at McDonald's or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, I got a PhD, but I'm still flipping burgers.
Yeah. It's like, but 3
Um,
years I'll be rich.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, just to close it out, but as you know, as a coach, if I was a teenager, what is one good advice you can give me or give someone out there that is for a parent out there that feels like they're having issues with their kid or their teenager, and what do you think that can happen, that you think that that can improve their lives, or that can make the situation even better? What's a good advice out there that you think you can give?
You know what? The best thing that comes to my mind is be patient with them. Be very patient with them. Life is not a race. Don't follow suit that society, that you have to meet a certain time and do this at a certain age and finish this by a certain age and graduate by a certain age and get married by a certain age. There's really no concept of that. That doesn't exist. That's a false sense of time that is made up by a society that has put that pressure on to everybody. And I think that is just false. I think be patient with the kid, let him, kind of discover himself, coach, but approach it differently, but just be very patient with it and don't have these expectations that are your expectations, not his.
Right.
Right. So
Right. Like I said, don't as a kid, don't take candy from a stranger.
don't yeah, don't take candy from a stranger. Exactly. Like kind of
But
follow your own path, but discover it and take and become resourceful and really try to take what you can and really find your own motivation, but don't
right,
live according to your parents' expectations or your parents'
right.
pressures, because that's not really good. That didn't work for me. I had a lot of that growing up, and
Yeah, me too.
it didn't work for me at all.
Yeah, me too. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. That was my two. It took me to be an adult to really figure out myself and to really understand myself as an
Yeah.
individual. And I think that like like you mentioned earlier in the past that you said that you were a late bloomer.
Yeah.
So was I,
Definitely.
and that's okay, and that's okay.
Perfectly okay.
Sometimes it takes being an adult to figure out what's going on and what you need to do, what steps you need to do. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
The way it
And
worked out, it worked out the way it did, and it couldn't have worked out any better. That's the way I look at it now. You
right,
know, that's what happened. It is what it is, and
you
it
need
couldn't have
to
worked out any other way.
right. And for any teenager out there, for any parent, we all have to understand that we are in our situation from our past.
Yeah.
We may not be our past, but our past is our past, and those are lessons that we are using now
Yeah.
to make better decisions, to make that next step in life, to make that next leap, and just
Yeah.
move on and make better and just be a better you. And that's
Exactly.
any bad experience that you had in the past is making you a better person, and that's including for also a teenager and all those kids out there too as well. So
No,
um
couldn't agree more.
yeah, man. But
Yep.
yeah, man, I guess we're gonna wrap it up, and I guess we can make another video on Saturday, and we can discuss that throughout the week and plan it out. And yeah, man.
Yeah. Sounds good. If anybody has any questions or any comments or any feedback to add and maybe their own experience with this, feel free to leave a comment below and hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Definitely, man. Well,
Great.
thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue doing these things because we always have good conversations. So yeah, Mike. So I'll see you Saturday, hopefully. All right.
All right. Sounds good, Angel. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, dude. Take it easy.
Okay, dude. Have a good night.
You too.